Hello and welcome to the Evidence Based Chiropractor. I am your host, Dr. Jeff Langmaid. In today's episode, we have a special presentation, pun intended there, because tomorrow I am flying out to Texas to speak at the Texas Chiropractic College annual event. And I wanted to hop on and I'm going to talk through the exact presentation that I'm going to give there this weekend. You'll be hearing it after I give it, about 24 hours afterward. And I think this is a great topic. They invited me to come down and talk about practice today. Everything that's gone on over the past year has disrupted what we've done, and really utilizing tech to optimize your marketing, to optimize your systems and processes in your practice is now more critical and vital than ever before. And I'm going to give a little preview of the presentation that I am going to be giving there on today's episode. A lot of take-home stuff here. You're going to discover the key to building a really, really strong health tribe online, the three most important content channels that you can and should be using in 2021, and why I think memberships might be something you want to think about for the now and the future in and around your practice. Before we get started, this episode is brought to you in part by the Smart Chiropractor. We do all of those marketing things you know you should be doing, but aren't getting to. So if you want us to take care of your automated email marketing, we're talking reactivations weekly, posting to Facebook, Instagram, Google My Business, averaging 60 calls per doctor to their front desk each and every month, please hop over to thesmartchiropractor.com/demo. Do a demo. Let's walk through. We want to ask you a bunch of questions about your practice, see if we're a great fit to help you reach your goals. That's really what it's about. Thesmartchiropractor.com/demo. But on today's episode, we're talking all about going digital, using tech to optimize your marketing. And this is more important now than ever. Why? Because when you do this correctly, you get to practice with less stress, you get to have more revenue coming in, and you're less vulnerable. We've seen that a brick and mortar practice is awesome, but we've also seen that when you can't get in your front door, depending upon where you practice and depending upon the state and or country, that is a super vulnerable business when you're not able to have fee for service. That's why these three topics of what we're going to just talk about today are so important. Building a health tribe, three most important content channels so you can continue to communicate, and why memberships might be something you want to think about in the future. My story behind this really, and if you've been following this, is probably old hat to you, but I really love entrepreneurship. I love marketing. I've practiced in so many different ways. I've been fortunate to be an associate, a clinic owner at a couple multidisciplinary groups, and also really, going my own way with my entrepreneurial endeavors. And that's really what leads this to today is I've seen the power of what can happen when you build a following. You're listening to this right now. It's proof in action. I've also seen what happens when you use great content channels to build that health tribe. Point number two, we're going to talk about today. And number three, I've seen how monthly recurring revenue has completely transformed my life and my business. And I don't think it's something where you need to be a technology person. I don't think it's something where you need to be pushy. I think there is a perfect fit in so many chiropractic practices for that. So let's talk about building a health tribe first. Point number one, how can you build that health tribe? This comes down to a couple words you might have heard me say before, but I want to dive into over the next few minutes. And that's teach and invite consistently. Building a health tribe online, meaning that you're following on Facebook, you're following on email, you're following on maybe your podcast, Instagram, whatever it might be. Building your health tribe or your following comes down to a couple of really important and key words. Teach and invite consistently. This is what we talk about with the Smart Chiropractor. This is what we do for our docs with the Smart Chiropractor. Teach. Take something that you know, take a topic that resonates, take a pain point that your ideal client or patient's having, and teach. Whether that's a post, whether that's a video, whether that's a blog, we love all that stuff, but you choose. But teach, engage with people, showcase the benefits of who you are and what you do. Take the moment to teach, and here's why. Is because when you post something, when you create a piece of content that teaches, you've earned yourself the opportunity to invite. And the invitation in the marketing world is very commonly called the call to action. So this is your invitation. Hey, give us a call, comment down below, share with a friend, book your appointment now. But when you do that on the back of teaching something, teach and invite, man, now it's elegant, now it's powerful, now you've built that know, trust, and like, and you can grow a health tribe quickly doing stuff like that. We've seen it time and time again. And the last word of that equation consistently. If you do it once, you just don't get enough at-bats, right? You got to swing. If you're trying to hit a home run and swing the bat one time, good luck. But if you swing it a couple thousand times, you're probably going to make some contact. So the same thing applies with your marketing. The number one predictor of marketing success is consistency. So you want to get out there and teach and invite consistently, because when you do that, you're going to have the opportunity to build an incredible tribe of people. Now, you might be saying, sounds good. That makes sense. Where do I do this, right? I've heard about TikTok. I've heard about Facebook. I've heard about Instagram. I've heard about all this stuff. What are those 3 key content channels for 2021? And I hate to sound like a broken record here, but content channel number 1 is email. Your email list automated is your most valuable practice asset. There is just no question about it whatsoever. Your email list plus automating campaigns, email campaigns that go out, is your most valuable asset. Why? Because those campaigns, like we build in Smart Chiro, those campaigns can be weekly newsletter reactivation campaigns. Those campaigns can be FSA, HSA campaigns at the end of the year. Those campaigns can be quarterly reactivation. They can be based upon events. But when you have, and they can be based upon lead magnets or email opt-ins on your website. We'll talk about that later on. All of these are so critically important because they just drive action. We know that 50% of people check their email over 10 times per day. Yes, that's true. We also know that 99% of people check their email at least once per day. That's a heck of a lot of people. So how does this play out in stats? You might think it sounds great, but how does this really apply to me and my practice? I'll tell you right now, and I've opened up some data of the last 30 days within what we've done within Chiro emails at the Smart Chiropractor. We're sending about 500,000 emails every 30 days for our docs. It's a lot of emails broken up amongst a bunch of docs all around the world. It's not one doc, obviously, but what that equates to is thousands. I see here over 2,000 clicks from an email directly to an online scheduling tool. That is powerful. Now, think about what you're missing out if you are not taking advantage of email campaigns. Those clicks are to schedule on your schedule. So super, super impactful, and it also deepens the relationship. It keeps you consistent. You can use email in so many different ways for products, for services, for announcements, for transactional emails, for reactivation campaigns, you name it. You can get out there and do it, but this is why it's one of the key content channels for 2021. It's also owned media, meaning you own your email list. It's not rented turf. You're not at the will or whim of some algorithm on Facebook or Instagram. You really get to control your messaging and how you get it out there. And that's why email is so, so important, not only yesterday, but today and tomorrow. Content channel number 2, I'm going to surprise you a little bit. Content channel number 2 is actually your Google My Business listing. And now, why do I say that? It's because I pulled a report today, and I see that over the last 30 days, Smart Chiropractor members who utilize our Google My Business auto posting have generated 16,522 total leads, 5,274 phone calls, and nearly 7,000 website clicks. That's over the last 30 days. So this is a channel you need to be in tune with. Now, we've talked a little bit about optimizing your Google My Business listing on previous episodes, but I'm going to give you those 3 tips again. Tip number 1 is make sure your information is correct. If you don't have your website listed, if your address is wrong, if your phone number is wrong, wow, you're never going to be able to get traction. You're in quicksand, right? So head over to your Google My Business listing and ensure that your basic information is correct. When I say basic information, ensure that your address is correct, ensure that your phone number is correct, and ensure that your website is listed. Why? Because those are the 3 calls to action we talked about, right? Clicking for directions, phone call to the front desk, and also visiting your website. So you want to make sure that those things are correct. The second tip is make sure you got some good pictures up there. Don't need to be super professionally shot, but if the outside is an old picture before you painted the building and it doesn't look exactly like the place you'd like it to look like or what it looks like today, make sure you update the picture. Take a picture inside. Upload a couple cool pictures to your listing. Maybe a picture of you smiling. Maybe a picture of you taking care of a patient. Whatever it might be. Make sure there's some active stuff going on. So when a patient visits your listing, they're like, I could see myself there. Show behind the curtain a little bit. And number 3, and this is, I'm going to say almost the most important, is get auto posting set up. Almost nobody knows that you can post to your Google My Business listing. Now, let's be honest. I can tell you to do it. You're not going to do it. That's why we do it automated for all of our members, because it's a pain in the butt. So we take care, exactly as I said at the top of this podcast, we do all of those things you know you should be doing but aren't doing yet. Google My Business listing posting is one of those things. Well, guess what posting to your Google My Business listing does? It helps with visibility, it helps with traffic, it helps with engagement, and it helps with getting people on your schedule. So that is why it is so critically important. We recommend posting at least one time per week, because posts on Google My Business expire typically after 1 week. So that's why Google My Business is so important. And number 3 content channel is your website. Now, I'm gonna split this down in a way you might not think. Your website, not just the fact that you have one, not just your blog, but an email pop-up box on your website. This is so important. Why? Because I'm looking at a screen of stats right now, and we see on a doc's website that 34 email addresses were collected over the last 30 days. And that was about a 3% conversion. So 34 new email addresses over the last 30 days. Now, when I say email pop-up box, here's what I mean by that. Somebody visits your website, the crew's around, and we know most docs have hundreds of visitors to their website, only maybe 5, 10, 15 new patients. What's happened to all those other people, right? This is high intent traffic. People are on your website for a reason. But when they are ready to leave, a pop-up, a exit intent, when they are getting ready to exit your website, a pop-up should come up to collect their email address, to offer them something, and to collect their email address. Why? Because if you can add 30 new subscribers per month, these are people with high intent. If you can convert 50% of those to patients over time, maybe not today, tomorrow, but over time, because once again, your email list, tying back to our previous, now you're following up consistently, that's going to eventually churn in 15 additional new patients to your practice per month on autopilot, 24/7, 365, all automated. So you have a website, let's get it working for you. This is why we build these email pop-ups within the Smart Chiropractor that tie directly into Chiro emails. The follow-ups all automated. But all of this is why it's just so important. You got to have this stuff dialed in, or else you're just fighting an uphill battle the whole time, and you shouldn't do that. You don't need to do that. The tools and resources are out there for you. And finally, part number 3 of what we want to discuss today, very, very briefly, is memberships and subscriptions. This stuff's the future of healthcare, whether you like it or not. We look at companies like Peloton with their app. We look at companies like Ritual with the vitamins. We look at Hims and Hers. You can see your toothbrush probably, your hair products. Who the heck knows, right? Subscriptions and memberships are here. They're here to stay. And there are billion-dollar companies that are serving your patients right now in things that you should. Now, I'm not saying you need to push supplements. You just need to offer stuff. If 50 patients subscribed to your offering at $30 bucks per month, that'd be $1,500 per month in passive revenue for your practice. That's real money, and that's not exactly shooting for the moon. 50 patients subscribe to a membership service. I love membership services that are supplements, and here's why. I think these are the keys to having an online store and an online presence. Stuff that's everybody every day. This is not about, I'm not talking about therapeutic, hey, take this for that, but vitamin D, multivitamin, whatever it might be, that fruits and greens, whatever suits your fancy. Everyday everybody stuff is great because it's not therapeutic by definition. This is just good stuff, movement-based app. Now, if you're doing supplements, drop shipping to the door. Everybody has the dusty shelf of stuff that they can't sell. That's the point of having it online and with your, tying back, email helping promote this stuff to your patient list at large. Now you're not hawking it at the front desk. We all know how that works. It doesn't. So you want to make sure you have email campaigns going out, highlighting everybody everyday stuff that's drop shipped to their door, that's auto sat on subscribe and save. This is memberships. This is monthly recurring revenue, and it creates a flywheel. The bigger your health tribe, tying this all together, the bigger your health tribe, the more email addresses you're going to have, and the more recurring revenue you can have over time. And what does that result in? Well, if you're able to have consistent reactivations, if you're able to, you'll have better retention of your patients, not because of some super long care plan, but you're keeping them in your ecosystem. You're staying top of mind with them. And if you're able to have a membership piece on top of that, now you're way less vulnerable. If you're not in the practice, you still have revenue coming in. You're making more revenue when you're in your practice, and you're far less stressed because the first day of every month isn't, oh crap, back to zero. It ultimately, you're starting with some recurring revenue base. It all starts with building a health tribe. It then dives into those content channels, and it can result in your opportunity from a membership product side of things. So we're going to be talking a lot more about this over the coming month. This is where the Smart Chiropractor is going. We really have a book that's ready to be released sometime in the next couple months called The Payday Practice. We have a line of supplements that we're going to be talking a lot about called Basis Health, which are these everyday everybody. I've been deep in this stuff for the last 6 months. So if you need help with any of this, please hit me up, Jeff@theevidencebasedchiropractor.com. If you have any questions, let me know. If you'd like to hop on a demo for the Smart Chiropractor, that's where everything's going to be powered from. Please check it out now. We as we add these things on, we inevitably bring up the price, but we always grandfather everybody in. So see if it's a good fit for you. thesmartchiropractor.com/demo. And please, if you have not left a rating or review for this website, please do so. I super appreciate you tuning in each and every week. I love seeing those reviews come up. So if you're listening on iTunes, you can kind of scroll down and see what's up there. And I'll close by saying, if you're going to be out of your practice at all over the next few months, don't close your doors. Utilize coverage. We have 100 docs or 100 plus docs right now that are in our roster. They are awesome. They are looking for work through Chiro Matchmakers. So if you're looking for coverage for your practice, head over to the chiromatchmakers.com. Our coverage team will chat with you and see if we can hook you up so you can stay revenue positive if and when you need to be out of your practice. But outside of that, doc, have a fantastic week in practice, and I will talk to you soon.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Evidence Based Chiropractor. If you want to grow your practice, come back for next week's episode. If you want to grow faster, visit theevidencebasedchiropractor.com and join our MD Marketing membership today.